This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, look at these eyes, Mike. Well, let me tell you about my crazy night. So I've been up 36 hours straight. Do you want to know why?
Your dog?
Because it's worldwide release day.
Oh,
Mike,
man.
I was at the pro shop at midnight waiting in line, bro. All these balls to drill, dude. The line on my pro shop was right around the block. People were fiending for the not urethane ball. It was like when the Popeyes chicken sandwich got released. People were fighting for each other. They were like, "Yo, I want that new." Oh god, dude, it was crazy. People were fiending for the 4 new releases today. Worldwide release day, Mike. Worldwide release day, Mike.
World, wide. Release day.
Release day. Security, investors, possibly you, Mike. What do you think? Drill up. How did you get to your pro shop? Were you running? Were you sprinting to drill all the new equipment that released today?
I've only been to 2 midnight releases in my life, ever. Okay. One was for the Wu-Tang Forever album. Okay. If you know me, if you really know me,
That's awesome.
you know what a big Wu-Tang fan I was,
Wu-Tang is
etc.
for the children.
Wu-Tang is for the children. And
Diversify.
I went to the, they went back when there were record stores. We went to Sam Goody was the name of the record store.
Nice.
We
I
went
know
to
Sam
in
Goody.
the Roosevelt Mall, okay, at midnight. I forget when it was exactly, but at midnight for the release of Wu-Tang Forever, the double album, the follow-up to Enter the 36 Chambers. The
Greatest
second
great
midnight
rap albums
release
of all time. Enter 36
True.
Chambers.
The second midnight release I went to was for the second version of Madden where they allowed you to play online. It might have been like 08 or 09, something like that, maybe. I might be a little late on that, actually, but
that's hilarious.
So no. So the answer is no. You won't catch me in line at any pro shop waiting all night to drill a ball. But it sounds like your shop, sounds like wherever you're going, they're still working. It sounds like they've been working all night, working all day.
It's been a crazy. I mean, people fighting. I heard there were some arrests, even. Just people fighting over the new, man. It's crazy. Fiending for those new balls. And this, I mean, dude, when you're in an epidemic, when you're in a bowling ball epidemic, people just get crazy and they want to fight for bowling balls. And I'm kidding about the rest in the fight, so don't go starting rumors. It's been all over the internet, and it's just kind of making me laugh.
But can I ask a serious question though?
Sure.
I know we're joking around, but I'm going to ask a serious question. Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't is there? It seems to me that they just release balls all the time. So how can a worldwide release date be a big deal when there's like balls coming out all the time? Like whatever it's the worldwide release date for today, it's going to be old news 2 or 3 months from now.
Well, the Not Urethane got released today, and then I heard Friday they're releasing already the Not Urethane Pearl, so that'll be out in a few weeks. So,
I mean,
I'm kidding, by the way. I'm kidding. That's a joke, but I mean that's what it feels like. It feels like every 2 weeks there's a new release coming out, and there's a new release date.
See, you say that as a joke, but it's easy to take you seriously on that. Because would that really surprise anybody? It wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, but Tobias makes a good point. The NU blue sales are good for the pro shops. The rest of them, not so much. Yeah, I mean, it's good for the pro shops when there's a good selling bowling ball. The pro shops get business, and we all support always our local pro shops, and want them to succeed, right?
You want to talk about it?
Oh,
Mike
we'll get
Richter in the
into it.
chat wants to talk about it.
He
Mike
wants to
says,
talk
"What's
about
up, guys? When can we get odds on Rob for the Masters?
like odds on
If I
what?
can
Odds
bet
on
on
winning?
Rob, I'm saying right now, I'm putting $100 on Rob to make the show. Okay, if I can bet on Rob, I'm putting $100 on Rob to make the show. Ride with me, sweep the rack. Ride with your boy. Okay.
How about let's just make the first cut. How does that sound? I don't really have a lot of high expectations, but if you want to get into it, we can get into it. Talk about what I did or why I did it. So I recently started bowling again, came out of retirement. I decided that I needed something to really get my juices flowing, and the really way for me to do that, Mike, is to jump in head first in the deep end. And seeing that the Masters was in Vegas this year, um, and it's really close to my mom's house, so the expenses for me to go there is going to be honestly cheaper than it normally would if I was to fly to Detroit, right? Which is where the Masters is the following 2 years. I don't have flight, I don't have hotel, and I decided to just sign up. The funny thing about signing up for the Masters, Mike, is shout props to the USBC website because I was like working from home, so I had everything queued up. Like I knew at 9 a.m. my time, or I'm sorry, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, or I'm sorry, 9 a.m. my time. It was 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That the entries were going to go on sale, and I knew they were going to sell out. I didn't know how fast they were going to sell out, but I knew it was going to sell out within like the first. I was going to make a guess within the first like hour and a half. So I had everything queued up. I had my USBC number, which I had to purchase because I'm not bowling league. Um, I had that queued up. I had the screen queued up. As soon as 9 o'clock hit, dude, boom! I refreshed my screen. The link was there. Took me no joke 3 minutes to sign up. It was flawless. The website was perfect. There was no problems on my end. It did end up selling in actually less than that. I think it was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. It sold out or something in that area. Um, but you know what kind of drove me crazy, Mike, is I was seeing posts later on that day from bowlers that were like, "Oh, the USBC is shutting out entries, and I wasn't able to get in. This is bullshit, and stuff." And I'm just like, dude, they had this posted on their website for like a month. Like I was all over the website. I even tweeted about it. Like, hey, like, how does it work? Like I was asking questions. People like out there were answering, helping me out. Hey, there's gonna be a link. Okay, cool. I knew this shit was going on. 9 o'clock. I was online 9 o'clock. I'd imagine a lot of the touring pros were probably the same as me. I mean, you'd imagine if that's your job full time, right, Mike? You'd know when the sign up is, right? And you'd get in. So people who didn't get in, that's your fault. That's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. It's no bullshit. It's not USBC's fault. It's your fault. If you didn't get in, it's your fault. I was online at 9 a.m. I signed up. Easy. Credit card, boom, was in. Got an entry. So now it's just a matter of working hard, Mike, practicing, getting my shit together. I drilled up a bunch of new balls on Saturday. Then this bowling ball epidemic, I need new equipment. Um, if anybody's wondering what I drilled, just for the people out there, I drilled a Game Breaker for a hybrid, a virtual energy blackout, a new purple hammer, um, a well, purple hammer, a virtual energy blackout. Oh, a Eternity Pie, which is a big ASIM, and I needed that in my bag, and uh, a Zen gold label, a black label for long and strong. So they're asking if I drilled a new. No, but it's actually I have one on its way. I'm not sure when it's going to come to me. So I will have a new. I will be drilling a new IQ Tour, which is blank sitting under my bed right now before I bowl. So yeah, man, bowling again. Bowled a tournament on Sunday. Sport shot. Shot wasn't that hard. 5-1. Um, all the balls I drilled, everything, all the equipment I had, 8 balls I brought in, I couldn't strike, Mike. Couldn't strike. I was literally, I think I left 3 pocket 710s. Scores were high, really high, and I was literally could not throw more than a triple. I was literally missed, I think, 3 spares, which was not bad for me in 6 games, considering I really haven't been bowling. Body hurt, knee hurt, back hurt. But it's to me, it was just a first tournament to get my gun and juices flowing. Um, Vegas Center, you only need a purple. Sam, thanks, Sam. I'll probably drill a purple, and maybe another purple. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be really trying to have fun this time, Mike. And I remember we talked to you about how your mindset is bowling, right? Remember we talked about that and how you're like more on the I just kind of want to have fun. I'm not really like really pressing.
It's a
Um,
day to enjoy myself,
right.
you
And I'm
know.
trying
But
to
you,
use
but you also want to have goals, right? Like you said. I mean, I think making the cut is a realistic goal. That's a good goal for you,
it
you
is
know,
well, I've done
especially
it
with
before.
yeah,
I've made the
especially
cut
with several
before.
months to prepare, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, you definitely want to have goals, but I think the goals have to be realistic too, you know, and like anything above that realistic goal, you should probably be really proud of yourself, you know, and anything below that realistic goal, yeah, you should probably still, you know, give yourself a small pat on the back for being competitive. You know, the only way I feel bad when if I go to an event is if I just totally bowl like a dog, you know, and it's like I just never had a chance. I was never in it, never bowled a good game. You know, those are the days that really make me question. You know, do I
Yeah.
really want to be out here? But
So a tournament like the
they're few
Masters
and
for
far
me, though.
between too.
See, a tournament for the Masters for me, I'll never finish in the bottom 50. I'll be honest with you, or the bottom 100. One is because of my spare shooting, and I really focus and I really concentrate on my spare shooting. Like spares on a shot like they're going to put out the Masters is such key. Is so key to just hanging around when you don't have it. So if you can make spares and stay clean and grind out the 170s and the 180s, and then when you have it, hit the big games, then I think that keeps you from really being bowling like a dog, right? Now, obviously, you still have to find something. You still have to put together big scores, or depending on what the shot is. Um, but I'm trying to not be. Look, I'm not thinking I'm going to be realistically be able to like beat and bowl against some guys like Belmo and Simo and Tackett, right? I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure considering how I haven't been bowling for a really long time, like really consistently for a really long time. But if I, practice enough and my mind is in the right place and I'm physically throwing it and making spares, I can make a cut. I've done it before. I've come close to, I've had chances to make match play when I did bowl, right? I mean, I would have to shoot a big set in the last few games, but um, I mean, it's possible. I just have to like get my mind in the right place and physically have to get right place. I got to lose some weight. I got to get my body right. But it's a good goal for myself, and I'm really excited about it because it's giving me something to shoot for. Especially with the tat is like the month before that in Vegas, so I'm able to kind of prepare for that with the tat. 2 tournaments coming up, as well as whatever locally comes around here. I am bowling the tat next weekend and Thanksgiving. So I signed up today, bowling Saturday night there. It's in Bolero Mesa, 5,000 for first. There's a singles division, a scratch division. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's just nice to be bowling again. I feel great. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Um, I don't know.
Bill Jones, don't beat yourself up. Used to crush Bill at Lefevre. Hey, everyone used to crush Bill at Lefevre. He stunk in that place. He'll be the first to tell you he stunk at that place. But I beat him at Stardust too. That was my house. But yeah, sorry, Mike. I just saw the comment by Jones. I
No,
haven't
it's
seen him in a
okay.
long
I
time.
brought it up. It's okay. I have few things to say on this Masters point for a minute, and you know Sam Cooley's
Sure.
comment here about being tough to finish in the bottom 50 when they're
I might
withdrawals
withdraw. I might be
goes
withdrawing too.
goes right along with this. Am I on the mark here to say that the Masters has become like the only professional level pro am opportunity that's out there now?
Oh, 100%. I mean,
Right,
look,
because the U.S.
a hack
Open
like
isn't.
me could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The U.S. Open is not really open anymore,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Nope.
So you don't have 400 entries there where you know it's a bunch of people that are looking to bowl the world's most expensive pro am. But the Masters, you know. That's what you're going to
100%.
get. That's what you're going to get. You're going to
100%.
get a mix of the world's best mixed with some amateurs that
Hacks.
really with some amateurs that really that have a chance to compete, right?
Mhm.
Mixed with some
Guys
hacks
who
that
just
don't
there,
belong out there,
that
right?
they're
So
just
I
they signed up.
definitely feel that the Masters has become the new world's most expensive pro-am.
So my brother's bowling too. So I had to convince him on Twitter to bowl, but he signed up too. And the odds on him finishing higher than me is, look, I'm an underdog. Jeff's been bowling
Yeah,
consistently,
Jeff, you're the favorite
consistently.
there. No doubt
Favorite,
Jeff's the favorite.
100% favorite,
I think
but
Jeff's the heavy favorite there, to be honest
heavy
with you.
favorite, heavy favorite. But don't count me out, man. I got 3 months to 4 months to prepare for this bad boy. Don't count me out, because let me tell you something. When I'm bowling and I have the itch to bowl, my work ethic, I bowl. Like, there's no doubt about it. I practice. I practice. I practice spares. I'm like Allen Iverson, baby. Practice. It's
Practice.
all about practice.
Jimmy says Masters dumpster diving is always wild. You're right. You're right. Rob, don't make me go dumpster
Yo,
diving on you,
I'll
son.
tell you one thing though. Worst case scenario though, I will get some good podcast content. And we will, depending on what squad I bowl, we will do our show the week I'm bowling. So regardless if I'm bowling on C and it's Thursday night, we're gonna do the show Wednesday. I'll do the show from my mom's house. So you guys will get a first front row
Fresh
view of
off the
what's going on
lanes.
now. Fresh off the lanes,
What
right
if you
home
have the
to do the
night block
show.
that night, though?
We'll do it a Wednesday when I'm bowling
Okay.
B.
All right.
Okay, if I'm bowling C, we'll do it Thursday. We'll figure it out, but I promise you we will do a show that week when I'm bowling.
Okay.
But Bill is I've already talked to Bill, told him I was bowling. I'm gonna wait a couple months before I hit him up for a ball. I'll be like, come on, Bill, help me out here. I need some stuff. I need to help out. I will definitely be milk cart. No, that is for sure, Ward. No one's gonna be. People are gonna be shocked to see me bowling. But it'll be fun though. I mean, I'm gonna see people that I haven't seen in years. So
All right.
it'll be fun.
Here's the other thing I wanted to throw out there. Am I correct? And I think I am, based on our conversation here, that there's no reserve spots for any PBA titleists, any Masters winners, nothing. No reserve spots. So like, it's first come, first
think
serve,
so.
no matter what.
I don't think so, because it
Okay.
was I was 396 entries, unless they saved it for the previous champion. Who do they put them right into match play anymore? The previous
They do.
champion, is
Yeah,
that
yeah. Then it's guaranteed.
so?
It's
Then
63 plus the champ.
the champ is automatically and obviously. So yeah, it's everybody but that. I don't think there's any other way than you have to be online signing up. It's a free for all. It's a shit show.
Okay, so Darren Barlow says just the defending champ is the only
Yeah,
entry
that's
that's
what I
reserved.
assumed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what I assumed.
Okay. No, I mean, and listen, I agree with what you said before about, hey, listen, if you don't get in, it's your fault. But yeah, I don't know. It just surprised me. I mean, I could see a circumstance where somebody's busy at that time or whatever it may be, and they don't get in. Unfortunate, but
Dude, I gotta read this comment by Kevin here. Rob walking up to the Masters check-in table is gonna be like the scene in Kingpin where they tell Roy Munson his dues. Dude, that's such a great scene. Is that when he's like, "Yeah, but I have this," and he shows his ring, and they're like, "Oh, a rubber hand," and they're like, "No, the ring." It's always one of the best scenes.
that's a
Well,
good that's a good point by Lumber Flexual. Like, what about the international guys? Belmo signing up at 1 a.m. He's
probably.
setting
I
an
mean,
alarm or
trust me, if
drinking
you're
a bunch of
Belmo,
coffee, staying up. We need an answer on that. I need an
you
answer on that.
you probably hire someone to do it for you. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, I
you
don't
could
know. You
do it.
might need your info. I don't know.
Just address, USBC number. I mean, anybody could have signed up. You
I
know
mean,
what
you
I
think
mean?
if you won the tournament like 5 times, they would reserve a
Maybe,
spot for you when you're still in your
maybe.
prime. I don't know.
I think they should reserve spots for the Masters though, for at least the top, like, I don't know, like 40 or 35 in points, right?
I'd have no problem with that.
They
I
should
mean,
have a reserve spot.
could you imagine if somebody like Belmo, for whatever reason, didn't get in, and
Overslept.
Joe Blow, local bowler, is out there averaging 167 for the week? I
I know.
mean, come on.
What a tragedy that would be. Maybe they need something like that to happen to change the way the signups are. You know what I mean? Because if you have to sign up at 1 a.m., like imagine Belmo overslept, like his alarm just didn't wake up or something, like he just fell asleep and missed it, and it's sold out in 2 hours. But like I said before in the beginning of the show, it's your fault. Like it's your fault if you live and you know the time and you're not online signing up.
Al Benjamin in the chat asking if I have ever shot the Masters. No, it was at Carolier for a few years, but yeah, I wasn't really bowling during the years that it was at Carolier. So no, I've never. I bowled local Masters tournaments around me, state Masters tournaments, things of that nature. But I've never gone to the USBC
So
Masters.
this will be my third Masters. The first year I made it, they actually cut to the top 120. The JBT Masters, yeah. But the first year I made the cut to the 120, and funny story about my first year when I made the cut, I crossed with Bill and Mike Scroggins in the three of us on the pair bowling to get in the match play.
Party at
Uh,
Scroggy's.
and this was at the stadium before they fixed the tilt. So Scroggins was playing up 5 and just like went 300 over for 6. The guy just didn't miss. And Bill, we were bowling uphill pretty much. I bowled shitty for the 6 that I think I might have finished actually in like 120th. And Bill needed a strike to make the cut, and he left the pocket 510. And I'll never let him live that down because we were bowling uphill because it was in the old Reno in the old stadium, like before they fixed it. And then the second time I bowled the Masters, I didn't really bowl that well. I think it was at Red Rock. I don't remember what year that was, but I didn't really bowl that well that year either. So I've only bowled. This will be my third. So I like this tournament. I think this is the tournament that amateur Joes could actually win. I mean, this happened, right? Like John Nolan won one year. Like
Brett Wolf.
Brett Wolf,
Brian Bogosian.
Bogosian. Art
That was my
Brown
favorite
made the
one,
show.
probably. Art Brown.
Art Brown made a show. Remember Art Brown?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Jason Queen, right? Who could forget
Yep.
that, right? I mean, this is a tournament where if you're a good amateur and you get hot at the right time and you get some good luck in match play, you can make it and go deep, pretty deep.
All right, let's talk league review. This is what the people come for. It's what they want to hear. We have a lot to get to tonight.
We do.
We're definitely going into overtime, which stinks
sure.
because I'm exhausted.
Me too.
League review. I got 2 league reviews, and the people are going to be disappointed because I know everybody thinks one of them is from house bowling, but it's actually not. My sub situation on the house got canceled last week, but Rob had an obligation that he had to attend to, so we couldn't do the show anyway. But I still have 2 league reviews for the people because I bowled last Tuesday and I bowled this Tuesday. We switched patterns. Okay, all new patterns, 3 new patterns. Short pattern is Broadway version 2. Okay, I had bowled on Broadway version 1, but I had never bowled on Broadway version 2. Similar, I'd say they're similar, slight differences, but I like the pattern a lot. I bowled really well. Probably bowled the best I bowled in this sport pot thing that I've been involved in. 660 with 180 the first game. So 660 with I think 256, 240 the back 2, something like that. 238, 256, 238. Won the singles and doubles pot games 2 and 3. Won the card games 2 and 3. Won the scratch series pot for 3.
Nice. You walked out of there, rich man.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I think I made like $300 for the night.
Oh shit! Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty good. Holy shit!
I know, and there were only 18 guys there.
That's really good.
The card games pay 110 themselves. So that was nice.
Wow.
And then between the other pots, it was like 30 something, 30. It was like 60 something for the singles, another 30 for the doubles. $30 for the scratch series. So, yeah, it was nice to bowl good. I bowled good. I threw a purple hammer all night. all night. Purple Hammer, just move my feet a little bit here and there, speed adjustments here and there.
Your good old urethane.
Oh man, it's fun to throw the Purple Hammer. It's fun to strike. I'll say that.
But it's just
Then last week, this past Tuesday, we bowled on one of the most confusing patterns that I have encountered in quite some time, and that was a medium pattern called Alcatraz. And man, let me tell you, I felt like I was in prison.
Was in prison
bowling on Alcatraz.
You were set up for that.
I felt like I was in ball reaction prison. Honestly,
I like it, Vic. Ice cold brew sounds good right now. Dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get anything going, bro. I couldn't get anything going. I went 171, 165, 183. I mean, just I used every ball I brought in.
Mm-hmm.
I used an IQ Tour. I used a Game Breaker 4 Hybrid. I used a Mastermind. I used a Venom Shock. There was one more ball there somewhere. Nothing. I mean, the Mastermind towards the end of the night gave me a little bit of a look. I actually opened in the 10th. If I would have struck out, I would have had like 220 the last game. That gave me somewhat of a look, but I just had to like not touch it and just send it right and just hope it didn't go high. So it wasn't really that confident of a look. But man, I mean, these were brutal to me. So I'm actually looking forward to so we'll bowl on the long and then the short. I'm actually looking forward to in these next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, getting out to the training center perhaps and having that pattern put out and practicing on it a little bit and seeing seeing what ball reaction I could create. Nothing seemed to work.
Yeah,
everything I tried was just
1 to 2 ratio
too early,
brutal.
Either hooked too early or it didn't hook at all.
And yeah, 1 to 2 ratio is brutal. That's brutal. 1 to 2 ratio.
I don't know. It's 2.19 to 1. Yeah, he's got it backwards.
Yeah, but that's still.
Yeah, but I mean it's close to 3 to 1. We only bowl on stuff that's 3 to 1 or less.
Yeah.
So, I didn't think it was that outrageous, but man, they were tough. They were hard. It looked like watching other people, like one guy on my pair the first game, George Cretella, he bowled really good. I think he might have shot the high scratch series for the night. I'd be surprised if he didn't. He kind of attacked them by just being real straight through the front part of the lane and real quick with speed, it looked like to me. And that seemed to be a key.
So I'd rather bowl on that Alcatraz than bowl on what I bowled this past Sunday, which was like easy to get to the pocket. It was just hard to strike for me.
Okay.
Like, because if I bowled 199 the first game, felt like I bowled 250. And everybody else was bowling 250, and I was already like 40 pins behind a number at 190. You put out something really tough and you grind out a 180 or 190, you have a good, like, you're in the mix. So I don't know. There's different kinds of patterns. There's patterns that are easy to get to the pocket, and there's other patterns, obviously, like that pattern that sounds like it was just hard to find something consistent. I'd rather bowl on that. I'd rather bowl on red square. I'd rather bowl on Alcatraz.
This reminded me of a U.S. Open type pattern.
Right.
Where you just had to, you just had to execute it. And, like, if you didn't execute it, it wasn't going to strike.
I know. Period. And I'd rather bowl on that.
I enjoy the challenge of bowling on something like that. But I think for the purposes that we're using it for, I definitely think it's better to have some harder, some easier.
Oh, 100%. A mix is always great.
People don't want to go, three patterns in a row with being confused out of their mind.
And you screwed up. So I know, at least you got 18. At least you had more entries than the week before.
Okay, so I know you wanted to give us a run. That's my league report for the week. But I know Rob wanted to give us a rundown of his. He brought it up already, but I know he wanted to give us a rundown of his tournament experience this weekend.
So real quick before we get it, I want to get into the string pin announcement from USBC. But 6 games. It was on a pattern or ratio. I think was like 5 to 1. So there was so much friction to the right that I could miss right and hit the pocket. It was just like, it felt like almost like a decently little bit harder of a house pattern, to be honest with you. Problem is just couldn't get 10 pins down, Mike. I mean, regardless of what I did, I used every ball in my bag except for the urethane. I probably should have tried the urethane actually. And I just couldn't strike it. I had all this new equipment. I didn't know what any of them were doing. They were literally fresh off the press. I didn't practice with any of them. I rolled in there with 8 balls, 6 of them I'd never thrown before. So it was fun for me. I mean, I was like, let me try this, let me try that, let me move here. But physically, I didn't feel great, so I need to figure out what to do. My back is starting to hurt a little bit. I think I'm dealing with a nerve problem in my back, and my knee was hurting and my hand was hurting. So I have a lot of work to do before I get to these big tournaments in February, March. So other than that, I didn't bowl good. I mean, I couldn't strike, and everybody was bowling 230s and 240s, and it felt like I was like you know, fucking miserable but I was actually having fun. I wasn't trying to beat myself up over it because I knew I haven't bowled a tournament in God in 6-7 months. So I wasn't going to beat myself up over it. I left there. My dad was with me. It was nice. He came and visited. So I just enjoyed it. We went to dinner and stuff and was just talking through about what I need to improve. And that's kind of my mindset, Mike, for the next while I'm bowling. Hopefully it won't quit anytime soon is I want to take my bad performances and try to learn from them. I'm reading some books now about like the mental game. I bought a book called Bowling Psychology. Have you heard of this thing? I got it recommended to me by somebody who's not a bowler, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's this is the author, and it's by some guy named Jace Belmonte." I'm like, "Oh, I know Jace Belmonte. Yeah, he's pretty good." So yeah, I'm gonna start reading some books just to like get a new like aspect of my mind game and what my thought process is while I'm bowling.
All right, sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right, let's move forward.
Hold on real quick. I want to pull this comment up, Ted. Ted Ringling says I'm bowling right now and I hate bowling. I've been there, Ted. My advice to you would be is either take a few weeks off and mentally reset and find reasons why you love it. Maybe do something to motivate yourself to enjoy it, or just don't do it if you hate doing it. I've taken off. I'm known for taking off months at a time when I hate doing it. I don't want to do something that I hate doing. Mike loves it and he keeps doing it because he loves it. I'm sure if Mike started hating it, he wouldn't do it. So that'd be my piece of advice.
Yeah, I would.
Um,
My response to that would be, what environment you bowling in? You know, change the environment you're bowling in if you're not happy and you don't like showing up.
Dad did pick up dinner, Jones. Dad always picks up dinner. Dad would picked up dinner for the last 25 years. He'll never let me pay. He'll fight to the death if I pay. All right, Mike. Let's get into the USBC announcement because we've already been 33 minutes talking about our nonsense, hacking it up on the lanes.
Why why do we take so long talking about our nonsense hacking
You
it
know
up
what
on the
though?
lanes?
I think people like it because they could relate to us, like as bowlers. You know what I mean? Like I sucked at a sports shop tournament Sunday. You sucked at your Alcatraz, right? And
If you
I
relate
think
to me
people.
as a bowler and you're listening to this, pull over and take your equipment out of your trunk and throw it in the nearest ditch and drive away. All right.
Pain, frustration, and depression. That's what it brings. The reintent. Jimmy's always got that quote
Oh
on
my
top.
god.
Okay, so I'm going to read the press release from the United States Bowling Congress because we got to talk about this. The USBC has released its most recent scoring research report related to string pin setters. The report concludes that there is no statistically significant difference between scoring pace of the USBC certified string pin setters and traditional free fall machines. Therefore, an average conversion between pin setter types will not be necessary and effective immediately. USBC will update its playing rules to allow for averages between pin setter types to be interchangeable, provided the string pin setter has been certified by USBC. Then it goes to talk about how they did a 500 bowler study where 300 bowlers participated in 2 sessions. There was over 3,500 games bowled, and they came up with that there's no statistical significant difference between the scoring pace of the pin setter types when controlled in the same environment. The difference in scorings do not relate to bowlers' averages, ages, or genders. The test had sufficient statistical power to identify a difference of 4 pins or larger had it existed. an average conversion between the pin setter types will not be necessary. This will only apply to USBC certified string pin setters. Older string pin setters have not been converted for certification, remains uncertified for USBC competition. I hope I summed it up because I skipped
All
a
right.
bunch in there.
So can we talk about what all that mumbo jumbo means? Do
Shoot.
I have it right? Tell me if I have it right
Okay.
for the people.
Okay.
It's a green light on string pins. It's an absolute green light on string pins as long as you're getting them certified through the USBC. Yes? Okay.
That's
They're
what it
also
sounds
saying that there's no discernible difference in average,
like. Correct.
right? Okay. And that the averages, as long as they're certified by USBC, the string pin machines will be interchangeable.
Correct. So let me talk through this.
This is going to be. It's so funny that Robert in the chat just put that up. Robert, you are. Robert, I don't know who you are, but you are on the money, my man. Okay? Robert just said
oh,
the death
we're gonna
of
have an
bowling.
argument.
Yes,
here.
it is. Yes, it is.
State your. I'll let you talk. I'll let you
I
state your
cannot
points.
be
Go for
clear
it.
enough here. Okay? This is the USBC sticking yet another knife in bowling's back. Okay?
Why?
Because all right, let's lay out the reasons here. All right. Number one, this is a business decision. This is not a bowling decision. Okay? Clearly. This is clearly, and we've talked about this. We had chat on. What I got out of that interview was I learned that the USBC is less a sanctioning body and more so a business promotion entity. Okay.
So I got one question to ask you, though. I want to ask you one question before you go on this rant about how it's the death of bowling. Have you bowled personally on a USBC certified pin setter?
No, but I don't know. Is the one at Rev Rates? Is the one at Rev Rates certified?
It's not B3. It's not.
All right, hold on. I want to just hear me out, okay? Just hear me out. So number one, the reason I say this is because it's yet another decision that the USBC is making that isn't about what's best for bowling or competition. It's about what's best for them, for their coffers and for business. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, Rob, you know as well as I do that there are people in the bowling community, and I feel like there's a good number of them who feel like this is a demarcation line. This is a line in the sand that they are not willing to cross. And if these centers start putting string pins in, they're not going to want to bowl anymore. Okay, that's number two. All right, and number three, and probably most importantly here, because when you were reading that press release, okay, and you read the part about the averages not being that different, even you were laughing. Even you had a smirk on your face while you were reading that. Okay,
I did because
bullshit. I think most of us know or suspect highly that that's bullshit. And that scores are going to go down. Okay. Well, Rob, what's going to happen when scores go down? So let me get this straight. For years, the USBC has been doing everything they can and ignoring all integrity of the game and its conditions to keep scores up. And now, because a business opportunity comes along for them to make money certifying the string pins and the bowling centers to make more money because they're cutting their bottom line. Now we're going to do something that possibly could lower the scores, but we're going to say that there's no discernible difference in the scores. And listen, you know as well as I do, everybody who watches this show knows as well as I do, that a lot of people who are still participating in bowling are participating simply because they like shooting good scores, averaging high numbers, shooting 300s, 800s. And I mean, if you're going to see a dramatic drop in anything, I would think you're going to see a dramatic drop in 300s and 800s. Not so much maybe an average, a less dramatic drop in overall average, but I would certainly expect to see a drop in 300s and 800s just based off of less carry, less messengers, less spraying the pins around, things of this nature. So this is why I feel, the reasons that I just gave are why I feel that not only is this the USBC sticking another knife in competitive bowling's back or bowling's back in general, but when I say competitive bowling, I'll include leagues in that too. But also that I really do feel that this might be the last straw. this might be what leads to the absolute disintegration and collapse of a large portion of the league bowling base. And I'm just talking league bowling base. But look around, people. Look around in the leagues that you bowl in. Are you telling me that it's gonna survive this 100%? I don't know about that.
So a couple of, I wouldn't say arguments to your point, but I think bowlers that are threatening to quit because of not being free fall pins anymore, I think a lot of their barks are bigger than their bite. I think people are just threatening to quit, and I don't think they will.
Okay.
I think they're just people just want to just that's how they could try to make a statement online, is by saying that, oh, I'm gonna quit. Bowling's dead. This just sucks. And I think they'll still bowl league. I think a lot of people just will be upset about the change, but will eventually accept it. I think if it's going to keep bowling centers open and operating costs down, then it's actually might be a win for the sport, instead of bowling alleys or keep closing because their operating expenses are so high. I think if it's going to make the bowling centers stay open and not close as much as they are, I think that also is a win for the sport. And I'm just look, it's proven. I've talked to people who run string pin centers, and they tell me that operating costs are significantly lower than free fall pins. There's not a lot of breakdowns compared to the free falls. There's just electricity bills, whatever it is, it's cheaper to operate, which effectively helps bowling centers be more profitable, right? Now I haven't bowled on a USBC pin string pin. I would have to bowl on what the USBC is saying is certified or sanctioned before I make a judgment on what is the difference between a free fall and a USBC certified string pins.
Yeah,
All
I'm
my
not. I'm not.
experiences,
I'm not out here. Yeah, I'm not out here ready to say I'm involved in that. I'm just saying
yeah,
what I think the impact will be.
all my experiences with the string pins at B3, and my experiences with B3 string pins compared to free fall, is that these scores would significantly drop if there was to go to string pins. But B3 string pins are not certified. Now I don't know what the difference is. I think it's maybe the length of the strings comparatively. But when I brought this up to Brandy and Mike when I was at B3 on Saturday, and I said, "Hey, did you hear USBC is there's no average conversion. They're saying that the string pins are the same as the free fall." And all they did was laugh and say, "Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's going to definitely be lower." So I personally would have to experience what the USBC is saying. I get your points though, Mike. They are, if Bolero, which is going to be another part of this, right? If
Well,
Bolero,
let's bring this up.
okay, okay,
This
sure,
comment. This is a
sure.
great comment by Buddy Mountcastle. Sounds like a burner, but all good. The bigger issue with this string pin thing is the fact that Bolero will eventually put string pins in all of their centers, and they won't be USBC certified pin setters.
I won't.
And with them having 400 centers, that will impact bowling as a sport and membership.
No, that's
Buddy,
incorrect.
whether they're USBC certified string pin setters or not, it's still going to have an impact. Even if they are, it's still going to have a major impact. Let's bring up Jeff's comment. Really like this too. If Bolero owns the PBA and the PBA does most of their events at Boleros, and if the Boleros will all be string pins at some point, will the PBA be on string pins one day?
Yes.
That hurts. That hurts my heart. That hurts my heart. Like, I don't want to see, listen, not only do I not want to see it, Belmo has already come out and said it, that he's against it. Sean Rash put out a video and said that he's against it. Videos catching some heat that I saw on the internet too, just because those weren't USBC certified machines that they were bowling on. But I mean, I honestly, I can't take the USBC's word that their certified machines are that different from the non-certified machines.
Well, I mean, that's a fair point.
I can't even take their word on that.
That's a fair point, because what has USBC done to earn the bowlers' trust that they're going to do the right thing?
And what has USBC done to explain to anybody what the difference is between a certified and non-certified
I think it's the
setter,
length of the
pin
string
setter.
from what I read. I think it's the length of the string, right? Um, if Bolero goes all string pins, you would probably guess, right? Bolero would use USBC sanction pin setters if they were going to put them in their bowling centers. That would be my guess because they will lose, like you said, leagues if the USBC
Not
is
if they're
not.
not if they have their own sanctioning, which they
But that
do
doesn't
now.
that doesn't matter. Like the bowlers would find the USBC sanction league to bowl. Now, if you don't have a Bolero, if you don't have something around you and you got to drive to an hour to find a non-Bolero center, you're probably going to lose bowlers, right? That I could see that happening, right? Where Bolero puts in string pins, they're not certified by USBC, the leagues aren't sanctioned, and now bowlers are trying to find bowling centers and now having to drive, who knows, whatever mileage to go find a USBC certified whatever, and they're like, you know what, I'm not going to drive an hour to bowl league anymore, so I'm just not going to bowl. So I could see them flirting with a little bit of a disaster, but I think Daz is right. The length of the strings is what's
Okay.
separating the
And yeah, we,
USBC.
we we discussed
Yeah,
that, and that's not what
yeah.
I meant by what have they done to explain what the difference is. I mean more like the research of the technical difference. The difference of the result, the difference of the statistics between the certified and the non-certified, not
So let
just
me
not
ask you
just
though:
the general differences.
do you think that 3,500 games and 500 bowlers is a big enough study to make a ruling like this?
No.
Because I mean, look, I haven't done I was a psychology undergrad when I was in college, and we had to do a lot of experiments, and they used to talk about the validity or integrity of the experiment, right? And obviously, the bigger data, the more amount of subjects you had, the more validity you had, right? In the experiment. And I'm thinking for them to come up with a ruling like this, I'm not sure if 500 bowlers and 3,500 games is enough. But like I said, I haven't bowled on a USBC certified pin setter. Has anybody in the chat bowled on a? I mean, I think David Tolson wrote that he did, and he bowled 690 with a urethane. So I don't think he saw any difference. I'd be curious to see if anybody's actually bowled on a USBC certified string pin and what their opinion of it was.
All right. Are we good?
I think we're good. I think this will be come up a little bit more in the next few weeks. String
Oh,
pins
I
is
mean,
like urethane, Mike.
this issue is going to dominate the bowling discussion for a long time to come.
I know, and wait till the first PBA tournament is bowled on string pins. Oh man, that's gonna be a wild event. We're gonna tune in for that show that week when we're on air to talking about it. A good debate though, Jimmy. I mean, you're right. It is a healthy debate. I mean, sometimes when string pins want to set traditionalists off, I mean, and you can't even argue. But I think there are some benefits to string pins. I do. If it's going to keep bowling centers alive and well, then yes, it's good. But if it's going to kill competitive bowling, then it's bad. So I guess we'll just have to keep seeing what's happening out there and talk about it.
All right, what are we moving to, Rob?
I want to talk about the USBC Hall of Fame, Mike.
Okay.
So the USBC Hall of Fame came up with their elections or their class of 2024. And I'm really happy to see Brian Walczak's name on that list. I have a really good personal relationship with Brian Walczak. I bowled college with him. He's my fraternity brother. I've spent hours and hours with him in car rides. Know his family, Lonnie, Brian. And Brian has always been a huge ambassador for the sport, an amazing bowler in his own right. Was one of those bowlers that just never made it on tour, but I don't think ever really gave a legit shot to be on tour. He was one of those guys we could put in the list where if the tour had more money involved in it at the time when he was going through, I
More
bet you
stops.
more stops, we would have saw Brian's name. So Brian got elected. Really happy for Brian. So congrats. Love Brian. Jody Wassner, which we know, great women bowler. Debbie Kuhn, Roy Buckley, and Darlene Baker for the selected for the national ballot for superior performance and recent action by the USBC Hall of Fame committee. And then the men's national ballot, there was some drama, Mike, and we'll talk a little bit about the drama here. The men's national ballot included candidates, PBA Tour stars Mike Scroggins, who we talked about, who I crossed with, Party at Scroggies, Wes Malott, the Big Nasty, and Brian Goebel. First-time candidates, PBA Tour stars Tommy Jones and Sean Rash. Here's the surprise, Mike. Randy Peterson was left off the ballot this year, Mike. 13 tour titleists, one major, a PBA 50 title, and was elected and was named like the 35th greatest player of all time when they announced the top 50. And you're telling me this guy wasn't already in the USBC Hall of Fame, and he's not in the Hall of Fame, and he's left off the ballot? What's going on there? Is there some personal?
You expect me to answer for them?
Is there something personal going on there with Randy? Did Randy say ruffle some feathers? You probably did. He probably ruffled some feathers somewhere. He had to have, no?
You would think that somebody like Randy Peterson would be in the USBC Hall of Fame.
I mean, the guy's 13 titles.
But I don't know. I can't. But again, it's the USBC Hall of Fame. So I don't know. I mean,
is there a different criteria for USBC Hall of Fame? I mean,
I would think that there is. No.
I mean, and I think Jeff Riggles made a good comment. If you haven't subscribed to his 11frame.com, I would suggest it because he's got an amazing amount of information in his articles. But he talks about how he wasn't allowed to bowl the Open Championships for a really long time.
Right.
So how, and then when he was allowed to bowl, his knee, he had a bad knee, and that's the reason why he probably doesn't bowl a lot till this day on the 50 tour.
Right, so, but again, when it comes to Hall of Fames, like, you can't make assumptions. You'd have a bunch of guys out there saying, "Oh, well, if I never blew my knee out, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. I deserve to be in the Hall of Fame." No, I don't know about that.
But he was on the ballot the last 2 years, though, Mike.
Okay,
so
right.
they were.
And I think if he's on the ballot, he's probably deserving.
Right.
He's
but then they left him off the ballot
especially
this year,
considering his professional, his professional record. I'm not aware of the rules about how the voting for the USBC Hall of Fame goes. So I don't know if they're only on the ballot for so many years, or if they're taken off after a certain amount of time and they don't make it. Honestly, I don't really have that much interest in it anyway. To me, and I'm not saying this across the board, but when I think USBC Hall of Fame, I think house shots. I think when I think USBC, I think house shots, and I understand that the people who have been inducted, at least the last since we've been doing this podcast and covering it, I understand they're a high caliber bowler. There's no question about that. But with that said, I would also be okay with there being a different set of criteria for the USBC Hall of Fame than there is for any other Hall of Fame in bowling, for that matter. But particularly the PBA Hall of Fame. I don't feel like the two have to go together. I feel like they can be mutually exclusive. But again, you know what else people in Randy Peterson's era didn't have that guys now do? Team USA, which is a USBC thing, right? So like when Randy Peterson was at his peak, I don't think that those guys were bowling on Team USA. I don't think they were eligible for Team USA. I don't think they were eligible to go to the U.S. Amateur Championship, and now you have professionals that bowl that on a regular basis, and you have professionals on Team USA. Look at somebody like Bill. I mean, Bill, I would think should have a pretty good resume for the USBC Hall of Fame just based on his bowling with Team USA, right? So that's another thing that I think probably goes against some of those guys that bowled in a certain era And we could sit here and we could say, oh, well, if you assume that they would have made it and they would have won it, yeah, but you can't make those assumptions. I mean, I understand that based off their
I
talent, you can, but
yeah.
you can't make those assumptions when you're talking about voting for a Hall of Fame.
So here's my problem making an argument here for either or is I don't really, and I think we've talked about this a while back. I don't really know the criteria to be in the USBC Hall of Fame. Like obviously he's already in the PBA Hall of Fame, right? Because of his titles and whatnot. There's so many, like there's such conspiracies right now. Randy Peterson didn't like Bolero's food. Gianmarco Manzone put a squash on it. I mean, the conspiracies right now are just out of control in the chat, and I think it's hilarious. But I don't really know what the criteria to get into the Hall of Fame. Like, what are the people that are picking this or voting? What are they looking for? And maybe someone in the chat maybe is voting. I know Jeff is close to a lot of this. Wriggles, maybe he could expand on some of that. And I don't really want to say, well, he should be in the Hall of Fame, but Jeff, I mean, makes it clear in his blog that the USBC Hall of Fame is diminished by Peterson not being in it. So I know Jeff is close to a lot of this. So if he's saying that, I'll take him for his word. And I mean, we all know Randy's, his, I mean, just resume, right, of being a bowling spokesperson and being involved in bowling, right, for his whole career. Until this day, he's the voice now of the PBA and essentially almost the voice of bowling, right? I mean, you listen to
For sure.
Randy commentate more than anybody, right? So it's interesting. I mean, he should probably be in the USBC Hall of Fame just from commentating the USBC shows. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know what the criteria is, but it's a crazy conversation that he was on the ballot the last 2 years, and now he's just all of a sudden he's off of it. So, anyway, that's enough of that. We'll talk more. Maybe I could reach out to Randy and get him on. I'm sure that would be a real interesting interview to see what his thoughts are right now, because he's steaming, and you could tell from social media he's not a happy camper by any means. Hey, Sean is in the chat. I really would love to get him on right now to talk about the string pin debate, because we literally just talked about it for 20 minutes. I'm trying to think if maybe we want to squash that for next week because we're already about an hour.
All right. Can I get into my mailbag?
Oh, sure. All right.
All right. I'm going to get into the mailbag. We got a couple emails I want to share.
Okay.
One's by Lumberflexual. I hope he's still here. That's the first one I'm going to share. He reached out to us with a great email that I wanted to share with people and comment on in a couple things here. So he says he wanted to reach out regarding my Big Mike struggles in maintaining a sport league. One of our local centers started one last year, and it has been a resounding success. These are family-owned centers in the Pacific Northwest. None of them are Boleros. Their budgets are very small, and only one center has a lane machine that can even be programmed to lay out patterns. So the owner and manager of this center got together and thought it would be fun to try offering a sport option for the locals to bowl. But since it would be the first time almost anyone in the area outside of those who traveled to bowl tournaments would have even seen a sport shot, they wanted to make it as palatable as possible at first. The solution, a series of doubles tournaments scheduled for the second Sunday of every month for 9 months straight. Bowlers who competed in at least 5 of the tournaments would be allowed to bowl a final 10th event to decide the overall winners for the season. Here's the catch. To get people feeling confident enough to try it, they made the format both handicap and 9-pin no-tap at the same time. They essentially padded the scoring as much as possible to keep people from getting intimidated. The first year, 2022, was such a hit that this event now sells out faster than any other local tournament. The greatest result, though, is that people love the challenge so much that it spawned a scratch sport league, triples league, over the summer. People were introduced to the challenge in a handicap format and grew to love it enough that they started a true sport league so as to try and learn the game in its most difficult form. There are also multiple new sport tournaments being introduced this year for the first time ever in our area. Not only has a league been spawned from the success of these tournaments, but the manager of this center now puts out a sport shot every Saturday on the first 4 pairs. If I know I'm going to be practicing that weekend, I can text him a pattern request, and he'll make that the pattern of the week. I want to be clear that I would have never tried sport or even thought of contacting the manager of a center and requesting patterns if it wasn't for your show. Since starting the bowl and practice on sport in August of this year, my house average has gone up nearly 20 pins, and my sport average is right about where my house average used to be. I've signed up for every sport event I can, even the Seattle Masters, just for experience. Marshall Kent was the winner last year, so I have no intentions of doing anything other than getting a real 8-game tournament under my belt, and we'll be doing the Summer Sport League as well. Man, what a great email! What a great email to get. Thanks, Lumberflesh. We'll appreciate that, bro. He went on. He also sent us some videos of him bowling. I got back to him and gave him some advice on his game and told him to clean a few things up there. But I mean, listen, I'm glad to hear that at least somewhere people are embracing the challenge. I'm frustrated by the lack of people embracing the challenge where I'm at, but I'm glad to hear that somewhere people are embracing the challenge. I gotta say, like, I don't think 9-pin no tap would work in the environment that I'm bowling in, or that I'm running my events in, or the sport pots, whatever you want to call it. Just because I think that there's some bowlers who would really put up ridiculous numbers if you bowled no tap. But I do think, I want to be clear, and I agree 100%, Lumber, that it's important to make sure that the handicap is balanced. I really do. I don't think you can sustain something like this unless you give enough advantage, enough handicap to the players who don't have the experience to make it fair and to make them competitive, and to make them feel like they're making gains and they're staying competitive and they're staying in it. Rob, any thoughts on that email?
No, I mean, I love to hear people expanding into trying the sports side of it. I mean, bottom line, that's the way to challenge yourself, and that's the way to get hooked even more to the sport, to learn that there's a whole new side of it. And we talk a lot about it, but you want to try to. I mean, if our show could even help a few bowlers get into that side of the sport and spread the knowledge to their people bowling around them, or talk to their bowling centers about putting out sport shots or whatnot, I think that we're doing bowling a great justice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and Lumber's in the chat every week, and he makes this point that handicap evens out the high level bowlers and the average enthusiasts who are learning. And I agree. On sport, handicap works. That's one of the biggest things I've learned from being involved in some sport leagues, that are handicap. Handicap on tough conditions works. It works because the conditions are tough enough where those 240, even 220s, even 210s, even 200s in a lot of cases aren't easy to come by. They're not easy to come by. Whereas on house, it's easy for anybody to pop a 220, 230, 240, throw 5, 6, 7 in a row. All right, I got one more email.
Mike, real quick though,
yeah.
shout out to one of the greatest national tour bowlers to never win a title, Don Moser, the legend, my over and under doubles partner. Back when I was bowling in Cali, we used to run it, man. When you bowl with Moser, he was going to be able to hook the lane, and didn't matter what the shot was. And yeah, good to see Don, man. Hope all is well, bro.
All right, we got an email from Andrew Kozuk earlier this week. He says, Brooklyn Rob, Big Mike, what's up? I hope you're both doing well. I was talking to a friend of mine who's on a local college team. He told me that he knows a few people at a center they practice in and may be able to get a pattern put out for my birthday this Sunday. I mean, how good is this? How good is this? People want this is.
Well, I responded to him. I know.
I'm responding to him right now. I decided to keep it for the show and respond to him live on the show. But how good is this? Somebody wants a sport pattern for their birthday. This guy is my boy. Is my boy.
First time ever.
He wants a sport pattern for his birthday. I love it. It will be my first time bowling on any type of challenge or sport shot, so I don't know much about deciding which pattern to ask for. I'm only used to bowling on the finest of china at my local center.
The
I
finest of
wasn't.
China.
He gets the show. I wasn't sure what pattern to go with, so I figured I would ask you guys and get your opinions. Being that it would be the first time bowling on a real pattern, what do you think would be a good choice to introduce myself to the proper side of bowling? I want to experience the challenge and push myself, but also don't want to have it be impossible. I can tell you, don't use Alcatraz. Don't use Alcatraz.
Or
That's
red
one
square. Or red
red
square.
That's one piece of advice I can give you. I am a lower rev rate player. I'd say I am speed dominant. I tend to play more of a downing game as opposed to hooking the lane and opening up my angles more, something I really want to improve on. I also don't own urethane, if that factors in at all. Any suggestions you guys have on a pattern and any tips on how to play the pattern would be greatly appreciated. All I know is that I want to try real bowling and will be doing it with my worst of the week rosin bag. Hopefully, there won't be another story circulating about a ball return cover mysteriously ending up 45 feet down the lane. And he went on a little bit with some other stuff that I'll respond to behind the scenes. But another amazing email. So let's chop it up over this for a second.
Yeah, I mean, you
What's
could read my response. I mean, I really tried to help him as much as I could.
Yeah, I didn't like your response. I'll be honest with you. I thought, yeah, I didn't like it. I thought the patterns you suggested were too
What
too
general?
hard.
What do you mean
Too
too
hard.
hard?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, so give him advice because I got Sean Rash in the waiting room, and I want to bring him on
Okay.
because the string pin
Oh,
stuff is not.
we're going into super overtime tonight.
Yeah, we're going in.
Okay. Uh,
So
all right. Quickly though, I want to suggest what patterns did you suggest? You
I
said
suggested
scorpion,
scorpion.
chameleon, or shark.
Yeah,
He said he doesn't
First-
want them to be impossible, bro. You're
that's
giving him the hardest shit there is.
no, it's not. That's
Yes,
PBA.
it is.
What?
Those are the hardest patterns.
It's no, they're not.
Bro, Rob, there's like so many patterns you could have suggested before those that would be easier and fit him better. Like here's a suggestion I'm going to make. I just got done bowling on this pattern in our sport league thing we do. Audubon. Try Audubon, okay? Audubon's a nice medium pattern. You can play the gutter, you can play in if you want. You got different ball choices you can make. It's challenging, but it's not impossible. Okay, but to suggest PBA patterns, I feel like you're putting him in a world of pain, misery, and hurt.
Depression.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
but
God.
I some of the other advice though I thought was good. Practice your spares, shooting straight on a sport shot. Don't ever try to hook your spares on a sport shot.
Yeah, the advice was good. The advice
Yeah.
was good, but I didn't like the pattern. Okay, if you're going to pick a PBA pattern, okay, Andrew, you want to bowl on a PBA pattern? Del Ballard, 36 feet's a good pattern. Reasonable. All right,
let's bring on Sean.
let's go. Let's bring them on. You never know who's going to pop in around here on Sweet the Rack.
I know,
You never know. Just
Sean's like
random
Blair
people
Witch.
popping in.
What is
Random
he-
Hall of Famers popping in just to say what's good. I got to ask you a question. I'm starting off with this. I'm firing right now. What do you say to the people who were negating your video because it wasn't on certified string pin setters?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Let me get on the Wi-Fi. Hold on one sec.
All right.
Yeah, good.
I don't know where he looks like he's in like a back of a 53 trailer. Like when look at the background. I'm trying to figure out where he is, just based on that background.
Maybe he's living Walter Ray lifestyle. He's going with the big trailer.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, yeah. You never know who's gonna pop it. I wanted to talk to Sean about the video that he.
All right, we'll give him a second.
shared.
Put him backstage for a second. Put him
Yeah,
backstage
yeah,
for a
yeah.
second. When he comes up, we'll get him.
Yeah.
Andrew, who emailed us, is in the chat. He says, "What do you think about Mercury or Broadway V2?" So Broadway V2, I told you, I just bowled on last week. It's okay, but you mentioned you don't have urethane. You definitely want urethane on that one. Viper or Scorpion, I would say, man, those are really hard. You're probably not going to get much ball reaction on those. So I don't know if those would be my first choices. Like I said, I would probably pick Audubon. I'd probably say Audubon was my best. All right, Sean's back. We got the
I'm back.
connection. I'm gonna
Yeah.
re-ask the question. This is where we're starting out. Address the people who were criticizing your video about the string pins because they weren't on certified string pin setters?
Man, so I'm gonna tease it, right? So I know you guys have been on for a minute, right? I've been traveling. I just got to Colorado Springs. We got an event here tomorrow, one in Denver Saturday, another one Sunday. Man, so 2 months and a day ago, I posted my first video of throwing on strings, right? September 15th. And I said I was excited to bowl on them, right? This was at Airport Bowl in the UK. I haven't posted anything since, right? I've been enjoying the comments, good and bad. Man, there's some hateful people in this world. Holy smokes. They are certified at Airport Bowl for BTBA. Okay. Now, when they were certified under USBC guidelines. But let's get this straight for the people that don't know, right? Mike's always about the people. There's only 14 certified places in the country. In the U.S., okay? My videos are from Europe. These people are tripping, right? Now, my second place in Germany, I have no idea, right? It's my buddy's place. We go there for a good time. I got another really cool video coming from that place, but that's down the road. And it's not string pins. It's something else. But anyways, 14 in the U.S. How many professional bowlers have actually bowled on one? I think Simonson's bowled on one. But you tell, like, one of the things I was talking to my wife about and a few other people in the industry, I'll be glad to go bowl on certified string pins and do a video, give you my honest opinion on certified. But when I go back into my video 2 months ago, everyone asked me about my opinion on them. So I didn't really actually give an opinion on my video from 2 days ago. I just said my personal opinion about the professional level. I don't think they belong. I didn't go into any more detail. Right? Like, hey, watch the video. Here's some fun. But man, there's some hateful people in our industry. I had someone tell me I don't do anything positive in our sport.
That's wild.
Dude.
So, man, I guess the 3,000 or 4,000 people I helped learn to bowl this year wasn't good.
No, see, that's the thing is, like, the one thing I know about Sean is that Sean does whatever he can to be ambassador for the sport. You've always done that. Even when we were in college, you were always like a true ambassador for the sport. You really were. And I would be the first to actually say, to give you props on that. I just think people are a little bit too sensitive these days.
It's for the people, Mike, for the people. They don't know anything. What's going on?
That's why we do it here. We're trying to inform them, son.
But listen, we're gonna do more of this next week when I'm home, because I don't want you guys to be on here all night, right? Because you guys probably got the kids to put to bed. I'm getting ready to go eat dinner, but I am gonna give you guys a little bit of a surprise. Okay.
Okay.
I walk into my room. I hurt my back tonight traveling. Sucks. I mean, traveling in a plane sucks, right? But I'm gonna get you guys a couple surprises of people. Because this is for Mike. This is for Mike the people.
Let's see. He's not gonna. There's someone behind door number 1.
Door number 1.
I'm curious. If people,
they might not even be there. I don't even know. They might be. They ain't there. Okay, we're going to door number 2.
What time is it where you're at? They're probably out eating dinner.
It's 7:45.
No, we getting ready. We are literally getting ready to go eat dinner. It's 7:45.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's like a Mike Hader that we just.
This is for the people. For the people.
Let's see.
Who do you want to see first? A really good bowler, a two-handed bowler, or a female bowler?
The female bowler.
Let's go female.
You always
want
to go with the female bowler.
Ladies. Oh, okay.
Hi, Danielle.
Okay.
That's for the people, Mike.
Former guest, Danielle McEwen.
You were on the show once? Oh, man. Sorry. All right, here's another one.
Oh,
okay,
Matt Olson. Right. We got to get Matt on.
You don't want Matt. No, you don't want Matt on.
Matt on. Fef just had Matt on. It was a great interview.
Did, yeah. All right. I got one left.
You got one. Look at you hanging out with all these big.
Oh no! Hey, just remember what I said a minute ago. I don't do anything positive for our sport, but I'm doing it with these people because they do positive things.
Look at that, DJ Tackett. He's another one we haven't had on too.
One of the best in the world's in the building too.
Yeah, once he's named player of the year in about, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you could probably have him on, right? I mean, second player of the year.
I'm not going to bring you no followers, so don't ask me.
Hey, Sean. Hey, Mike. These are my competitors when I bowl the Masters in March. By the way, these are the people.
Oh, you got your entry in.
I got my entry in,
He's
man.
in.
I'm ready for the donation. I'm ready.
So am I.
I'm ready to donate to the EJ Tackett Fund.
Hell yeah.
Hey, we like that. We like them funds. But hey, listen, I promise I will come on. We can go into more depth about the string pins. Again, 14 certified in the country. Okay. I was in Europe. Like I would know.
All right, so quick question. Yes or no? With the announcement from the USBC, right, and the certification thing that they announced last week, that number's going up or down?
Oh, it's definitely going up. There's a guy in the room who's getting ready to put them in.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, listen,
that
I'll
number's
give
going
it
to
less.
skyrocket. That number's going to skyrocket.
No, it ain't going to skyrocket, but it's going to go up.
Oh, I don't know. All right,
Bolero.
you need to get back to us and let us know when you have time. Whether
Hey,
it's
listen,
next
they
week,
can only
2
put them
weeks,
in
whatever.
so fast, right? And I'll guarantee you the PBA will bowl on it at some point. It's just a matter of time. But like I said a minute ago, I will be glad to go to one of these locations that are certified, do a video, probably still have the same opinion, right? Like it's not meant for professional sport in my mind as of right now, right? There is a video on one of my whatever. They left a 2-4-5, the 4-pin wiggled, and they counted it as an 8 count. Tell me that's all right.
Yeah, I
No,
bowled on
the shot that I saw that stuck out to me the most was the converted 2-8-10.
The 2-8-10 was out of control.
That was wild. I mean, because how many people make a 2-8-10?
Huh?
It's happened a bunch of times on TV.
Well, you guys might make 2-8-10s regularly, but most people might make a 2-8-10.
Hey, listen to this. So one guy had the audacity to go, oh, of course you didn't have a two-hander in the video.
That's a 2-4-8 kid.
Right? We had a guy in Germany. He's about 6'3", about a 560 to 600 rev rate. He couldn't get a messenger across the deck.
Work strings, bro.
And he averaged about 260. Now, I don't know if you can even make a 710 with them on the certified ones because they're so short, right? Like, I don't know enough about it. All my post was my personal opinion on the professional side. Not yet. I didn't go into any more details.
All right, fair enough. Yo, listen, we're gonna let you go, but we're gonna book something with you to have you back on.
Yeah,
This
man.
conversation a little bit, get a little bit more into it. But I have to ask this though: how does it feel that you and Belmo actually agree on something?
Oh my goodness! Hey, listen.
Because he feels the same way. He already came out and said almost the exact same thing. Not as much reaction to what he said, but
Well, he didn't bowl on a video of it. I'm sure if he did the same thing, he might get praised for it, right? Like,
yeah.
listen, everyone loves to hate me. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 3 people in this room that hate me at times because I make them travel. I make them go do clinics. I make them go all over the world. I mean, they carried my suitcase tonight. Now I got to go buy them dinner.
Give us a rundown where he's at this weekend.
So we're in Colorado Springs tomorrow at Peak Bowl for the Raised Eyewear Pro-Am. Saturday, we're at Bolero Cherry Creek with 10-back bowling outfitters with Sean Lee. My man, do work. Do work.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Love
And then Sunday, we're in Loveland at Sweetheart Bowling Lanes, about an hour north of Denver with the Canfield family, unbelievable hosts. They've had us. This is my 6th time there. Then we're going to the Broncos-Vikings game that night, and I'm getting the business, y'all. But I will say right now, the 4 of us in this room are really bummed that we're not going to be in Vegas for Bill Crispin's memorial. But I told some people at Storm, I was there a couple weeks ago, that if I would have canceled my event, Bill would be extremely mad at me for doing that because of what he did for the sport. Again, what I'm trying to do for the sport. He'd be so mad at me. I know Barb would be too. She knows we're there in spirits. So I had to say that it's a shame that we're not going to be there Sunday. So I hope you all have something on him on your next show because he was a true icon, legend, monster in our sport.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, you got, you can go out and honor him by doing, spreading the love of the game. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go throw a strike on 3 fall pins and post it.
No doubt. Yo, enjoy dinner.
Probably,
Enjoy dinner.
probably with like a Wolverine or a Spectra or UFO alert. I don't know.
Whatever you got.
900 global. We know where it's at. I'm not even gonna ask.
Yeah, and hey,
And-
FYI, before we leave, tell Danielle that I enjoy her TikToks. I like her TikToks. She does a good
You like-
job with it. She
Hey,
does. I'm serious.
we need a video to go viral for the men's side, not the women's side. So let's find one.
of a
Maybe
TikTok.
mine did it. Maybe mine did it a couple days ago.
All Danielle's got to do is post a turtle with sunglasses on. It goes viral.
Well, it sounds like a little bit of jealousy over there. I want to see
Oh,
Ogle's
there
TikToks.
is. I promise.
We
I can't
know.
post my dog with sunglasses because she's already done it.
Oh, the doodle, right? The golden doodle. See, I
Yeah.
know. I like all
Oh
this stuff.
man! All right, you guys, be good. We're going to eat.
All right.
All right, have fun,
Later, man.
guys.
Enjoy
ya.
it. Later.
I feel like Pat McAfee when he has Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers.
on, right? Because like Aaron Rodgers just comes out of nowhere. You know, Sean Rash comes out of nowhere. There's other people all over the place. You know, crazy things are being discussed. So no, I honestly, I mean, what I said, I'd love to have him back on and get more in depth to it. But nice to hear from him on it. I think he was pretty clear about his opinion and some of the things that
honestly,
he wants people to know there. I was not aware of where the video was taken. You know, wasn't
Mike,
aware of any of the certified, non-certified, etc.
me personally, though, I'd be scared to be in a hotel room with EJ Tackett because that kid's a freaking serial killer. Dude, that kid on the lanes is a serial killer. The kid just strikes everywhere he goes. Man, I swear, I'd be like asking him how he strikes so much because when I bowl, all I do is throws 9. So, I mean, man, that's a pretty cool event, though, that they're running in Colorado. And I would recommend anybody who's in that area to go out there and
Yeah, check it out. Support it.
support those events for sure. You know, when you got guys like EJ and Ogle and Danielle and Sean doing an event in your area, that doesn't probably come around too often. So pretty cool to Sean to pop on. And he's very passionate about the sport. And, you know, he does get a lot of hate because he's very outspoken. But in reality, you need people like that in the sport, let alone if you love them or you hate them, to tell it how it is, kind of how we do it. I mean, we tell it how it is. People, they hate us, they love us. But, I mean, we're honest and we're passionate. And, you know, you're going to get people who are going to disagree with you. So yeah, so I know it's getting late, Mike. I know you're getting late. You're 2 hours ahead of me, so you probably got school. But everyone,
Not only do I have school, I have grades due tomorrow.
I know
Now,
we got to do
grades
worst
are-
of the week. So let's
Grades
just get
aren't due till 2:30. I was
Yeah.
hoping to get them done tonight and be done going in tomorrow morning. It ain't happening. So
all right. Well, let's get worst of the week done, and then
let's
we'll
do it.
wrap it up. Where? Ooh, there it is. I'm still curious of who was behind door number 1. If that was door number 2, and he had EJ Tackett and Ogle and McEwen, who was behind door number 1? You know, I was waiting to see if it was Belmo. I would have shit myself. I would have been laughing. So I was like, dude, like that would have been the most unexpected surprise. But I doubt they're going to dinner together anytime soon. All right, Mike. I have a comment. I'm gonna start with my new favorite message forum, the Bowling Science Forum. I mean, this message forum just gets better and better as the weeks go on.
It's reached a tipping point because
He started moderating stuff.
Yeah, he came on and said, "Can't let this go unattended anymore. There's got to be monitoring of post or approval of post."
Yeah. So my worst of the week goes to James Kidd, who writes on the message bowling. Who else thinks the rule about not altering the surface of your bowling ball after the start of competition is dumb and favors the deep pocket players? Example, for whatever reason, the oiling machine absolutely flooded the last 2 pairs of lanes last week, and any shot right of target hydroplaned badly and refused to turn the corner. 3 counts in gutter balls were common occurrences. The 4 reactive resins I brought were either lightly or fully polished, since the lanes at both the houses I typically bowl have relatively short oil patterns. You probably shouldn't be using shined up shit on short oil patterns. I'm just, kind of throwing that out there. I did not have any dull styles with me. It was a grind. Shot 547 and my team won all 3 games. It's the same for everybody. Shut up and bowl, sort of. Any chance that jackpots went totally out the window and the other 6 pairs of lanes apparently were normal conditions. Question. Why am I not allowed to hit the surface of my equipment with a scotch pad once the scoring begins? Let me tell you something, my guy. Scotch pads and whatever else you're gonna hit your ball ain't gonna help you if you're throwing threes and gutters in league. Okay. I can't guess, or I can't believe that your pair and another pair were oiled completely different than the other 6 pairs. I mean, it's happened, right? I mean, yes, it's happened in actually USBC competition, right? So
Fair point. Fair point.
I'm not gonna say I don't believe it, but you can't hit a scotch pad with your ball after every shot or your game. There's rules. It's not going to be good for oil integrity. There's a lot of reasons why they don't allow you to hit your ball with a scotch pad after every game or shot. But yeah, I just thought that was a pretty funny worst of the week.
It's funny how everyone thinks it's the ball,
Oh well, that's the epidemic we're in.
right? It's always the ball. It's never
It's
them.
the epidemic.
So it's always the ball. Always something with the ball. So I want to, before I give mine, I want to discuss this. Like, I think that the Bowling Science Forum page has become so over the top that I'll be honest, I think we have to retire it from Worst of the Week. Because if we don't, we're never going to get off it. Worst of the Week is going to come from that page every single week. So I'm going to announce that after the new year, I'm taking a hiatus from Worst of the Week from the Bowling Science Forum page. So, Bowling Science Forum people, give us your best, okay? Give us your best here for the next few weeks, because after these next few weeks, I'm gonna bail off of there for a little while. But to no one's surprise, my Worst of the Week this week comes from the Bowling Science Forum page, and I'm actually going to highlight a couple different things from this page. So I don't know. Don't ask me why I did this. I don't know. But every week, you all know I have a burner Facebook account. Okay, and it's not hard to find my burner Facebook. It's not hard to tell who I am if you're looking for it. But it's just a Facebook account that I use to for bowling purposes. No, for bowling purposes and for local political purposes. Okay, that's the two main reasons that I have it.
Meaning school stuff.
So I went on I go on several Facebook group pages and I promote the Tuesday night sport thing. Okay, well, for some reason this week I decided to go on the Bowling Science Forum and just post it up there because I figured maybe there's some local people that are on there that might not see it anywhere else, and so I said, all right, let me go post it on there. So I post it, and it's sort of a long post, right? Well, this guy Roy Bice, Bice, Roy Bice.
No, Bice, right? Like nice.
Bice, Roy Bice. Okay, Roy Bice. He comes on and tells me this is on the Bowling Science Forum. Okay, he tells me I don't think this is the place for this post.
He's moderating. He's Tim Bucking you.
Son, are you aware of where we're at? Are you aware of where I'm posting this? I'm posting this on the Bowling Science Forum.
Roy G. Okay?
I'm posting this on the Bowling Science Forum. Just this week, I saw a post about, let's see, I've been throwing DV8 for a while now. I'm not the greatest bowler, but what I've noticed is with all my DV8 equipment, it seems to die out about halfway through the league and quit reacting as much. I don't know if it's just me getting tired and not staying behind the ball, or if the cover just gets too oily and dies. I also throw a lot of solids, so it could be that it's soaking up a lot of oil, maybe? I don't know. Just a thought. That was a post on the Bowling Science, and you're telling me that it's not the place for me to post what I'm posting? I mean, you should be responding to like 96% of the posts on this forum then. Okay? Another post from this week. Yeah, I'm in my first league. It's a mix, 3 men and 1 woman, 4-person team.
Mamma mia.
Some teams have 3 to 4 subs that they switch depending on who they're going against. I think that's unfair because they insert their best players when they need them and leave them out for games when they know they can win. And Bice, Roy Bice, is telling me that my post doesn't belong in this cesspool of bowling science.
Wait,
forums.
how about this one this week by Daniel Mann? Am I the only person that takes issue with Storm's smell my balls gimmick? In my opinion, a bowling ball shouldn't need to smell like cheesecake and pansies. And that's a huge reason why I'll never buy Storm. So guess what, people? We gave you a bunch of worst of the weeks in 1 week because that's
we're not. No, Tom and Liz of Little House. We're not nixing worst of the week. I'm just saying we gotta start going to different wells, bro. We gotta cap this well of the bowling.
We have to go on
forum,
Pinterest and we have to find more.
We gotta go to different wells.
Where was the worst of the week of the year? Where did you find that last year? Was that Pinterest?
Yeah.
Reddit? Was it Reddit or Pinterest?
Reddit.
Yeah. Reddit is where we got to find that's where the hidden gold is in Reddit.
Yep.
All right.
This was another one. Kevin brings up another one that was a recent.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, the comment of the week in the
Talbot
BSN
had rubbing alcohol on it. He didn't get credit for his 300 game.
Oh, that's great. But
it's
anyway.
not the place. It's not the Roy Bice says it's
Bice.
not the place for me to post my sport pop bowling advertisement. Shut up, Roy Bice. read the room, you dope.
I love it. All right.
Final thoughts. Make it quick.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that pansy storm smelling bowling ball to come out. I never know what a pansy or PANSIES pansies smells like. Final thoughts, man. Just bowling again. I'm gonna be bowling a B3 again Saturday. Got to work on some equipment. Cutting some of my finger. That's about it. I mean, we talked a lot tonight, so that's kind of my final thought.
My final thought is this. How many honor scores, 300s or 800s? How many honor scores does someone bowl before they should legitimately move up and try the harder side of the game? That's why, because the reason I think it is because I see all these posts online, and it seems like a lot of people now, they keep track of their 300s and 800s, and they have 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 honor scores. And I just think to myself, like, at what point, at what number do you legitimately say, all right, I've accomplished enough over here. I need to go try a harder version of this?
I just think at this point it just becomes never. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I think some of those people who have those 300s and 800s, they're already probably bowling some of the harder stuff, but they're just crushing league, and then other people just want to just notch on their belt. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It just seems a little silly.
It's a lot silly.
It just seems a little silly to me.
Well, maybe string pins will help solve that.
Listen, that was one of the reasons I thought, this is possibly another blow to the league bowling community.
But all right, well, I think we're good. Next week
show.
We're not having a show. We're not having a show next week because of Thanksgiving.
No show. Thanksgiving. No show. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving. Okay.
We'll be back the next week.
Everybody enjoy. We'll be back the following week, and we inch closer to being back with real PBA action, and I can't wait for that. I love our podcast, but I love our podcast the most
when
there's live PBA action to discuss.
I mean, it's
that's my favorite. My favorite is watching the sport at the highest levels, breaking it down to the highest levels. Thanks to Sean for popping in tonight. We'll definitely arrange some with him in a couple weeks when we come back. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great 2 weeks. Hit us up. We love the mailbags. Keep the email coming. Sweep the rack at Gmail.
Real quick, too, if you're listening now, when we might be popping on Saturday to talk to Chris Viali. So I'm setting that up because he's got a big Mega Buck tournament coming on next week.
Yeah,
So,
and if you're not with us live, we'll definitely post it up so people can
so you can listen
check
to
that
it.
out.
So I'll be posting if getting with tomorrow with you guys to arrange a time on Saturday, because he said Saturday would be a good time for him to just pop in for 30 minutes to talk about his tournament. So
Well, it ain't just going to be about tournament. I got to ask a couple World Team Challenge story questions.
I know he loves this. Yeah, I know he's got great stories.
I don't let anybody who bowled on a World Team Challenge show go without discussing World Team
I know.
Challenge. You know?
That guy, he's a G, man. That guy's been around. He's bowled everything.
No doubt. Yeah, Steph from my from the Tuesday night thing. He's actually bowling that event.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a good event. It's gonna be a good event. So you might want to tune in and listen. We might try to talk to him about the shot and get some info.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, yo, hit us up on social media. I'm at 215. He's at Brooklyn Rob 11. Shoot us emails if you want. We love the mailbags. Love sharing the emails tonight.
Sweep the racket Gmail.
Sweep the racket Gmail. Everybody have a good week. Have a good Thanksgiving. If you're bowling a Thanksgiving Eve tournament, good luck. And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.